And here we are at the final question of logical reasoning drill set number 5, number 12. And we're going to read the question stem as always up front. It states, which of the following statements best completes the passage above? So we're just looking for best completes as our question task. And we should hopefully recall from another question actually in this very set that when you're being asked to complete a passage, you could be looking at either what is often known as a since strengthened, meaning you're looking to strengthen a conclusion that came immediately prior to the open ended completion of the passage, or you're looking to identify an inference, a conclusion that logically follows from all of the statements that came before. So we're not sure yet, but as soon as I see this word therefore at the end, I might be able to take a little shortcut and know I'm most likely looking at a de facto inference task, and we're going to need to highlight the statements of fact to differentiate them. So we read from the beginning, building bridges requires complex considerations. Okay, that just seems like background information. I believe that fully. I probably don't need to highlight that up front. Water runs faster in those parts of a river where the banks are closest, causing greater stress on piers sunk in the river to support a bridge. Okay, I'm going to highlight that in pink as a statement of fact that I believe I'm probably going to need to keep track of. Then we just switch our highlight color so that we can highlight the next fact as it comes. Where the banks are farther apart, piers are subject to less stress, but more piers are required to span the greater distance, thus adding cost to the bridge. Okay, here's our next statement that we need to be focused on. We'll highlight that in yellow. On the other hand, it is possible to reinforce piers to withstand greater stress, but only at a greater expense. So we're going to switch to our orange here. We'll get our highlight of this statement. And I do need to clean that up just a little bit. And you may need to clean up from time to time. And don't feel like it's going to take too long. Make sure that your highlights are done as clearly as possible. I do recognize that the interface can be a little clunky, but you want to force yourself to become as comfortable with it as possible. Then this enables engineers to ensure the safety of a bridge even when piers are subject to greater stress. Okay, that's fine. And then we'll just leave that kind of, again, in that non-highlighted color. But we have the penultimate statement here, which states, while safety is paramount when engineers design a bridge, expense is a serious consideration. Therefore, when spanning a river, something has to come in logical uh, conclusion to all of these different considerations. So we're going to look at our answer choices with the pink highlight tool still selected, and we're going to find reasons to eliminate as we go. Thank you for watching this question explanation video from LSAT drill number 5 over at lawhub.lsac.org. If you enjoyed the tips that it contained, please consider liking the video or subscribing to the channel to be notified when additional question explanation videos are produced by my guru. Also, check out the description below for links to additional resources from my guru, including links to full sets of video explanations for entire LSAT prep tests from LawHub. But for now, let's get back to this question explanation. So, starting with choice A, longer bridges generally are safer than shorter bridges. We don't know that definitively. There's this whole thing about whether you've added additional support, whether the water is running faster, how long, how short. So there is cost involved too. So A is going to be an extreme inference, something that we can't be 100% certain of. Then choice B, bridge engineers are inclined to opt for building longer bridges as opposed to shorter ones. Well, again, inclined to opt for building longer bridges, no, that goes too far. We know that there's so many considerations. There might be some instances where you want long, some instances where you want short, some instances where you want long where it's going to be reinforced. There's a bunch of different things, and B is just too blanket of a statement. Then choice C, the greater the stress on the piers of a bridge, the less safe the bridge is. Again, the stress of the piers may or may not make the bridge less safe. The piers may be strong enough to withstand it. And if they're strong enough to withstand, that's going to be enough. So choice C is, again, going to be something that goes too far. And then choice D, bridge builders are inclined to choose not to build a bridge at all rather than build an expensive but safe bridge. not build a bridge at all. Is that an option? I don't recall that at all from our statements on the left. We're talking about when they deal with the bridge and when they span the river. So not building a bridge at all, it certainly seems to be a circumstance that would need additional information to apply as the conclusion here. And then bridge engineers are inclined to avoid building shorter bridges unless the cost of reinforcing piers in the river is offset by other savings. Well, ding, 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 this actually summarizes all of these complex considerations pretty well. And if you just work through this as a de facto inference task, do a little bit of highlighting in the statements because they are relatively dense, make them stand out individually to help your processing. But hopefully, you can see how E is absolutely the correct answer for this final problem of LSAT Logical Reasoning Drill Set number 5 over at lawhub.lsac.org.